And screening embryos to prevent cancer. It's the newest thing in designer babies.
Tonight on Channel 4 News at 6, working for you.
Tonight we're here in South Carolina for round one, America's first chance to see the Democratic field for president in our debate. In Washington tonight, the Iraq War vote, the general, and the new hurdles for U.S. troops on the ground. The movie premiere Hollywood isn't happy about, rooting out the bootleggers who steal blockbusters. And after years in a wheelchair, for a few precious moments, the thrill of floating free.
This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams, reporting tonight from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
And good evening from Orangeburg, South Carolina, where a short time from now, in fact, at the conclusion of this broadcast, we will see the 8 Democrats in the race for the presidency on the same stage, side by side for the very first time. And we will hear from them in tonight's debate being televised on MSNBC. They all have their work cut out for them. They know they're standing in the polls. Each candidate arrived here today knowing full well what the stakes are heading into tonight's debate. 4 of them arrived here directly from the U.S. Senate, where they voted on a bill to draw down U.S. troops in Iraq, a bill that we should quickly add faces a certain presidential veto. I'll be moderating this evening, and the rules will make for a fast and lively event, to be sure. 1-minute responses, 30-second rebuttals. And here with a preview tonight, NBC's Andrea Mitchell. This should be a lively one tonight.
It should be indeed, Brian. Tonight, all eyes will be on the man now challenging Hillary Clinton for the lead, a relative newcomer to national politics, Barack Obama.
How are you, gentlemen?
Late this afternoon, the candidates arrived on campus.
Mr. President? Barack, you can't say that. Just don't say it in front of Hillary. How you doing, sir?
Good to meet you, sir.
That was off the record.
Just in time to check out the stage for tonight's debate.
And I think if I'm looking there, they're going to have.
They're going to get you.
They're going to give it straight on one way or the other.
The senators in the race had to hustle to get here after voting on the Iraq spending bill.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
On Iraq and other issues, the spotlight is on Obama, edging up on Clinton in the polls and enjoying it.
There's something humming down here. Oh, that's somebody's BlackBerry. That's Sharpton's BlackBerry. Is that Hillary calling?
He's got plenty of sizzle, huge crowds, and has raised more money this year than Clinton. And now the new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows he has trimmed her lead to only 5 points, 36 to 31%.
When Democrats look at these two, they don't see a big gap, so they are intrigued by Barack Obama, and Democrats also think he can win the race.
But can Obama fill in the blanks on tough policy choices? At a health care forum last month, he didn't deliver.
We have a plan that we are in the process of unveiling.
And critics say a foreign policy speech this week was long on vision, short on specifics. Trying to put more pressure on Obama, John Edwards, a strong third in the latest poll.
I think the campaign's young. I mean, we should be fair. We've got time to go. But this is the first presidential debate, so I would expect anyone who's in this debate to have some very specific, substantive ideas about the big issues.
And of course, tonight is also a chance for the second-tier candidates to try to show that they can break out of the pack and compete with the front runners. Brian?
Well, let me know how it goes tonight. Thank you very much for being with us, Andrea Mitchell. Last night on our broadcast, our Washington bureau chief, Tim Russert, unveiled our new NBC News Wall Street Journal polling numbers on where the candidates all stand and the mood of the American electorate. With that in mind, let's talk a little strategy here for tonight with Tim Russert, who's with us from our New York studios. And Tim, I know we always tend to reduce this to sports terms, but who has the most to lose to begin with coming in here tonight?
Well, Brian, it's always the front runners. Hillary Clinton needs to be likable, not aloof, not suggest in any way that she believes this nomination is inevitable. And she has to make sure that she is sufficiently against the war in Iraq in order to appeal to the Democratic base. Barack Obama has to demonstrate there's more to a campaign than hope or charisma. He needs specificity on the issues. He has to lay out some plans, and he has to refer people to the substance of his background and his positions. And John Edwards, look for him to do that, Brian. referring time and time again to his plans and just how detailed they are. But he also has to make sure that he points out there is no inconsistency between his personal lifestyle and his call for two Americas and emphasis on the issue of poverty.
And Tim, the flip side of this argument, who now has the most to win coming in here?
These are the people in the second tier, Brian. Bill Richardson, looking for this opportunity to say America needs an executive. He's been a governor. He's been a cabinet secretary. He's been ambassador to the United Nations. He stood toe-to-toe with world leaders. And he is Hispanic. He can be a different kind of candidate. Joe Biden saying over and over again, I'm the only one who has a plan to deal with Iraq, divided into three parts. It's the only way to have peace with honor. And Chris Dodd trying to say no on-the-job training. I can reach across the aisle. I am the person who has the experience. Those are the people in the second tier trying to get into the top tier.
All right, our Washington bureau chief, who will be watching all of this from, of all places, our home studio in New York, Tim Russert, thanks as always. And another program note here, a reminder, the debate will air on MSNBC on cable and will stream live on the website msnbc.com starting at 7 Eastern Time. It will re-air on the West Coast at 11 tonight. Viewers here in South Carolina can see it on our NBC stations and on South Carolina Public Television. Now to that vote today in the Senate on the bill to pull U.S. troops out of Iraq. It passed by a vote of 51-46 following approval by the House last night, but it will fail to become law because the president will exercise his veto as promised. Chip Reed was on the Hill for the vote today and joins us from there with more tonight. Chip, good evening.
Well, good evening, Brian. After months of infighting and struggling to find a unified position on Iraq, Democrats have finally succeeded. Their bill has now passed both houses by close, mostly party line votes, and here's what it would do. It would require the president to start withdrawing troops from Iraq by October of this year at the latest, and it sets a goal of next April for getting the vast majority of the troops out. Now, the problem for Democrats is that this whole exercise highlights just how powerless they are to force any kind of change of course in Iraq. The president is going to veto this bill. We've been assured of that by the White House, and the Democrats do not have the votes, nowhere close to the votes they would need to override a presidential veto as long as the Republicans stick with the president, and so far they are. Brian?
It'll be a topic tonight. Chip Reed in Washington for us. Thanks. The president brought his big gun into Washington for the showdown vote on Iraq. The four-star Army general really in charge of the war effort in Iraq, David Petraeus. He appeared in the Pentagon press briefing room today for what turned out to be a rather candid and sober status report on the fight and the so-called surge of U.S. forces. Jim Miklaszewski reports for us from the Pentagon.
Brian, General David Petraeus noted that 2 months into the surge, there has indeed been some progress in Iraq, but he also noted with brutal honesty the serious challenges and threats that still lie ahead. On a day when still another car bomb killed 6 Iraqis in Baghdad, General David Petraeus bluntly told Pentagon reporters the worst of it may be yet to come.
The situation in Iraq is in some exceedingly complex and very tough. This effort may get harder before it gets easier.
Petraeus said the current surge of additional U.S. forces has reduced the number of sectarian killings in Baghdad by 2/3. But in that same period, U.S. troop casualties are near the highest levels of the war. And the number of Iraqis killed by suicide car bombs has skyrocketed.
Which have, of course, been significant blows to our effort, and which cause psychological damage that is typically even greater than their physical damage.
Without responding directly to Congress, Petraeus warned if American forces started to withdraw from Iraq by this fall, the violence would only rise. General Petraeus also had a somewhat somber take on Iraqi politics, which he said is key to success. He noted the Iraqi government is split into so many factions, each with its own agenda, it's difficult to pass any meaningful legislation.
It is not a government of national unity.
In fact, senior military officials predict there'll still be no significant political progress in Baghdad by this time next year. And one senior official also predicts that by this time next spring, American troops will have to start coming home from Iraq no matter what the situation on the ground, because the U.S. military is stretched so thin it won't be able to keep up the current pace of combat deployments much beyond that. Brian.
Jim Miklaszewski at the Pentagon tonight. Thanks. And now we transition to the situation on the ground in Iraq. As you may know, our own Mike Taibbi has been following the progress of a small group of soldiers in the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division, the 3rd ID. They're now in Iraq as part of this U.S. troop buildup. Tonight, one of the young commanders with the job of making it all work. He's all of 30 years old, already a veteran of this war, who's now trying to move his company into the heart of the Baghdad insurgency. Here is Mike Taibbi.
Day of house hunting, behind the smiles of children. These streets in eastern Baghdad are thick with threats.
You hear them shots?
But Pancho and his company of 100+ men are planning to live right in the middle of those threats.
We'll never be able to protect that. Okay, let's get at it.
Because the so-called surge strategy says the only way to defuse the deadly Sunni Shia tensions in neighborhoods like these is up close and personal.
I know, I always give you heart attacks. I walk everywhere.
So for weeks, this 3-tour Iraq War veteran has been scouring buildings on these bitter streets.
Oh, this warehouse? Yes. Warehouse. Can we go in? Yeah.
Looking to move his men in.
For better or for worse, one of these neighborhoods will be the closest thing to home for Pancho and his company. The question, can it work?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. How you doing?
Not likely, says this out-of-work engineer, afraid to be identified.
He'll be safe, but unwelcome.
Unwelcome because American troops attract so much violence that even the Iraqi major who's supposed to work with Pancho
I want to start doing patrols with you.
asked that we not show his face.
Oh, she didn't get it.
At home in Alabama, Pancho's wife Jennifer, alone with their son Lucas, doesn't fully buy his best-case scenario.
Yeah, I just feel horrible about what's going on. It's just, I don't like it. I want you to come home.
I know that. If there's any relief, I mean, our area is pretty good. I mean, relatively speaking.
But for the next year, Pancho's company will live in this area.
The enemy will observe you as you move into the AO.
Because, says their boss, Colonel Troy Perry, mere patrols haven't worked.
When we go in, we will not come back out.
Oh, wow. Oh,
wow. That means Pancho won't hear his son speaking his first words.
He says mama.
He's been saying mama, and he says, oh, wow.
Because he'll be busy trying to win what many say is already lost.
Be careful as a kid.
The chance, maybe the last chance, for something different than the misery and bloodshed that have filled these streets. Mike Taibbi, NBC News, Baghdad.
Here in this country tonight, a woman who is known to a lot of us who are parents of college-bound children. She is in the news because she lied about her own education. Marilee Jones resigned today as Dean of Admissions at MIT after 28 years at that prestigious school because she now admits she misrepresented her academic degrees. She listed degrees from 3 institutions on her resume and apparently has none of them. Jones has lectured and written articles on the pressures facing today's high school students as they apply to college. In a statement today, she said, quote, I am deeply sorry for this and for disappointing so many in the MIT community and beyond. At this point, we'll take a break in our coverage. I'll be back a bit later on from here in Orangeburg, South Carolina. But first, when we come back, Campbell Brown will have the rest of the day's news from our home studio in New York, including a world-famous genius, scientist, and author doing something today he has always wanted to do. Also, the sneak previews that make Hollywood furious and the effort to find and root out the people who make off with a blockbuster.
I didn't choose love, Daddy. Love chose me.
When I was younger, I wanted a pony.
A pony?
Like a flame, love draws its victims.
So you're calling me a pony?
If only everyone guaranteed the quality of their products. Fortunately, Walgreens offers thousands of great quality Walgreens brand products with a money-back guarantee. So getting quality products for less is easy.
It's 30 shrimp at Red Lobster. Mix and match your two favorites like decadent scampi, creamy pasta, hand-breaded, or try new savory garlic grilled shrimp. It's 30 shrimp for $12.99, only at Red Lobster.
Now you can look like you spent 7 days on vacation while you fight 7 signs of aging. With new Olay Total Effects Touch of Sun, an anti-aging moisturizer with a touch of sunless tanner. Fighting aging just got sunnier.
Just because I'm a doctor doesn't mean I don't worry about my cholesterol.
Inventor of the Jarvik Artificial Heart, Dr. Robert Jarvik.
For many people like me, diet and exercise aren't enough. But adding Lipitor significantly lowers bad cholesterol, 39 to 60%. I take it because it does more than that. Unlike some cholesterol medicines, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke if you have several common risk factors for heart disease. And Lipitor is one of the most researched medicines. You don't have to be a doctor to appreciate that. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you're taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. Lowering cholesterol is important, but could you be doing more with Lipitor? Ask your doctor. Don't wait.
We'll go back to Brian Williams in South Carolina in just a moment. But first, our look at today's other news. We begin with a dream come true for a world-famous writer and thinker. Stephen Hawking has spent most of his 65 years in a wheelchair. He's always dreamed of floating weightless, and today he got his chance. Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
For one of the world's greatest minds, finally a chance for freedom. Stephen Hawking, who's dedicated his life to understanding the cosmos while trapped in a body paralyzed by Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. For the first time today, escaping the Earth's gravitational pull, 25 seconds of weightlessness in a plane that simulates zero gravity. Not once, but 8 times. Before the flight, we asked Hawking, who speaks through a computer, what he expected.
I honestly don't know. Wonderful, I would guess. It has been many years since I've been free of my wheelchair.
The trip was the idea of Peter Diamandis, a commercial space travel entrepreneur for whom Hawking is a personal hero.
My hope is that he feels the bliss of being weightless, out of his wheelchair for the first time in literally 40 years.
Yet for the man who has conducted pioneering research into black holes and quantum gravity, this is much more than a joyride. Dr. Hawking believes that the long-term future for humans living on the Earth is bleak. And if we are going to survive as a species, we are going to have to start moving off the planet.
I believe that life on Earth is at an ever-increasing risk of being wiped out by a disaster.
Back on the zero-G flight today, you could see it all on Hawking's face. A flight of fancy and momentary freedom, and proof that the human mind and spirit can soar above any adversity. Tom Costello, NBC News, somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean.
When Nightly News continues in just a moment, it is one of the most anticipated films of the year, and you can already buy it illegally.
I have COPD with chronic bronchitis, which makes it hard to breathe. But now that I'm breathing better with Advair, I can cheer my grandson to victory.
For people with COPD with chronic bronchitis, great news. Advair helps significantly improve lung function. While nothing can reverse COPD, Advair is different from other medications because it's the only product with an anti-inflammatory and a bronchodilator working together to help you breathe better. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than twice a day. Lung infections, including pneumonia, have been reported with Advair. Taking Advair may increase your risk for osteoporosis and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Advair, and ask about the risks and benefits of continuing Advair after 6 months.
Thanks for coming, Grandpa.
I wouldn't have missed it. Ask your doctor how Advair helps improve lung function for better breathing.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at advaircopd.com.
Got too much on your plate to think about what should go on your plate? Drink Ensure, a source of complete balanced nutrition. So when you can't eat right, eat smart. Now Ensure has a new taste that's more delicious than ever.
This is a very uncomfortable situation. Sales of flatulent. I've remained silent but deadly about this problem so far.
Got gas on your mind? Gas X Thin Strips dissolve quickly and relieve gas fast. Gas X, pressure's off.
Millions of people watch me cook, but I watch what I eat. Still, when my doctor checked my cholesterol, it was slightly higher than we'd like. We talked about statins, a good option. For me, he chose Zetia. It works differently. Statins work mainly with the liver. Zetia works in the digestive tract like some other medicines. But Zetia is unique in the way it helps block the absorption of cholesterol that comes from food. Zetia, along with a healthy diet, lowered bad cholesterol by an average of 30 points. That's 18%. It complements what I'm already doing.
Zetia may not be right for people who have ever had liver problems, are nursing or pregnant, or may become pregnant. Your doctor will decide if Zetia is right for you. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect and should be reported to a doctor right away. Common side effects included tiredness and stomach pain.
3, 2. Cook it healthy. Ask your doctor if Zetia is right for you. Zetia, a different way to help fight cholesterol.
A superhero whose latest feats haven't yet hit the screen in this country is already being ripped off and sold on the streets halfway around the world. The Motion Picture Association of America, of which this company, NBC Universal, is a member, estimates that film piracy cost Hollywood some $5 billion a year, much of it in Asia, and almost impossible to stop until now. Here's NBC's Jennifer London.
Spider-Man 3, the most expensive movie ever made, hasn't even opened in the U.S. But on the streets of Beijing, peddlers are selling fake copies for just $1.
Piracy is the single biggest threat to the motion picture industry.
So now the movie industry is taking the threat head-on in an operation codenamed Double Trouble. Their names, Lucky and Flo, tail-wagging operatives who've been unleashed by the Motion Picture Association of America. The battlefield is at the Holiday Shopping Plaza in Malaysia.
Showing interest in this one.
The canine crime fighters are the only DVD sniffer dogs in the world, trained to recognize the scent of chemicals used in making optical discs.
They put charcoal against the door to try and put the scent of the dogs off.
The dogs can't tell the difference between the illegal copies and the real thing, but investigators can. On the U.S. piracy watchdog list of 36 countries, Malaysia is among the worst offenders. China, Russia, and Thailand have the highest piracy rates. But it's here in Hollywood where the greatest impact is felt. In 2005, U.S. movie studios lost $6.1 billion because of piracy. But the unparalleled success of Operation Double Trouble has come with a price.
The Malaysian pirates are very upset about this and have put a price on the head of the dogs.
Lucky and Flo aren't concerned with bounties. They only ask for a tennis ball. After 5 successful raids in Malaysia, netting more than 1.3 million pirated DVDs, these crime-fighting superheroes have now set their sniffers on the Philippines. Jennifer London, NBC News, Hollywood.
When we come back, more from Brian Williams in South Carolina, the scene of the first Democratic presidential debate.
It says here that stress can weaken our immune system.
And about 70% of our immune system is in our digestive tract.
Right. Apparently, a culture called LKCI Immunitas can help. It's clinically proven to help strengthen your body's defense system.
Only Dan Active has LKCI Immunitas.
We should try this Dan Active.
New Dan Active helps strengthen your body's defenses.
Does your restless mind keep you from sleeping? Do you lie awake, exhausted, but still can't sleep? Maybe it's time to ask your doctor if Lunesta's right for you. For a limited time, you're invited to take the Lunesta 7-Night Challenge. Ask your doctor how to get 7 nights of Lunesta absolutely free and see if it's the sleep aid you've been looking for. Non-narcotic Lunesta can help you get a full night's sleep. Lunesta helps you fall asleep quickly, so take it right before bed. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Do not take Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Hurry! The Lunesta 7-Night Challenge ends May 31st. Get your coupon at lunesta.com and ask your doctor today.
Olay Age-Defying Body Wash fights the look of body aging with a moisturizing formula with Vita-niacin. Keep time off your body with Olay Age-Defying Body Wash.
A good breakfast is always in season, and this spring it's just $4.99. Denny's weekday breakfast has arrived. Only $4.99 for 2 eggs, bacon and sausage, hash browns, and 2 pancakes. This special won't last long, so come to Denny's Monday through Friday.
Oh, what a perfect day. Oh no, nasal allergy congestion strikes again. It's everywhere, outside and in. Prescription Nasonex helps relieve congestion and other nasal allergy symptoms. Maybe that's why 6 million people used Nasonex last year.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
For congestion and other nasal allergy symptoms, ask your doctor about Nasonex.
Tonight at 6.
A teenager accused of firebombing an abandoned home. What's next for this newest member of the young and the lawless?
A job security guarantee for workers at 2 local plants.
And screening embryos to prevent cancer. It's the newest thing in designer babies.
Tonight on Channel 4 News at 6. Working for you.
We are back with one final piece of business having to do with tonight's Democratic debate, and it's about this place, South Carolina State University here in Orangeburg, South Carolina. There is a rich history here, but also a tragic history. There were once bullet holes in the walls of some of the buildings here on campus. It goes back to one violent night 39 years ago. 3 people were killed, dozens wounded, in a massacre that few Americans remember today. The story from NBC's Martin Savage.
Maybe 50 or 75 young men out here.
Cleveland Sellers can still show you where he was on campus the night he was shot.
The whole area down there lit up. It was very bright.
South Carolina State University has a long history of civil rights activism. So in February 1968, students were protesting a local whites-only bowling alley. Daily, the showdown escalated, and state police and National Guard troops were called. Then, on the night of February 8th, for reasons still unclear, authorities opened fire.
A lot of gunfire. Bullets were falling like rain.
Herman Bowler was among the 27 people who were wounded.
There wasn't any place to run. No matter where you went, you was going to get shot.
You were struck how many times?
3 times.
3 young men died. 18-year-olds Henry Smith and Samuel Hammond, and 17-year-old Delano Middleton.
Most of the students that were shot in the backs. They were retreating.
Cecil Williams was a photographer for the school yearbook.
I saw shells on the ground, so I started picking these shells up.
Those shells were used to identify 9 troopers who were later put on trial. A jury acquitted them in less than 2 hours. The shooting was the first of its kind on a college campus, more than 2 years before Kent State. Yet, unlike Kent State, the Orangeburg massacre is virtually unknown.
The reason no one knows because only black people were killed.
In 2001, South Carolina came about as close as it has to an apology.
We deeply regret what happened on the night of February 8, 1968.
A marker on the university campus names the wounded and the dead. One of the few testimonies to a tragedy a nation barely remembers.
Sacred ground here.
Yes, it is.
Sacred ground.
And victims can never forget. Martin Savage, NBC News, Orangeburg, South Carolina.
That is our Thursday night broadcast. Inside, the hall is ready, the audience is seated, and in a moment on MSNBC, the Democratic debate will get underway. I'm Brian Williams reporting tonight from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Thank you for being with us. Good night.
Tonight, a 14-year-old suspected in a half-dozen arsons. Police say they've caught another of the young and the lawless. The I-Team uncovers a dirty little secret at a hotspot for family entertainment. And keep a lookout for yachts and condos transforming the Cumberland into a waterfront community.
You're watching Channel 4 News, working for you.
Good evening. Welcome to Channel 4 News at 6.
Many of you watching right now are under a tornado watch, and a few of you were in the path of a confirmed tornado in the past few hours. Chief Meteorologist Lisa Spencer has the latest on the damage.
Well, that tornado watch remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. Glad to report the storms are dying down somewhat, but take a look at our live pinpoint Doppler radar. We find several areas, particularly here in Crossville and straight on over to near Cookville, where we had damage today. And there was a report confirmed by TEMA that there was a tornado that touched down, bringing over a mobile home, and several trees came down. That was 10 miles northwest of Crossville.